Hello and welcome back to chapter 4 of my little Trans-Euro Trail Cornish adventure. So for this one we went from Churro down to Porthleven. So I've now completed everything from there to there. So we're getting there slowly. So yeah, for this section here, these in the thicker red, that's all of the, I'm calling it off-road, but someone has already pointed out to me it's not off-road, they are roads, but they're just untarmacked roads. But you know what I mean, the kind of dirty, gravelly, groomed sections of this trail, and I didn't really find anything too challenging. I don't know whether that's because possibly I'm starting to get a little bit better and I'm getting a bit more used to the off-road stuff, but I didn't find anything too challenging. But there are a couple of steep and loose sections and a couple of things to watch out for. So let's go into the footage and I'll talk you through this little run of the TET. Okay, so kicking off at Churro, there's a few little roads before you get to the first, in inverted commas, off-road section. And I went past hundreds of cyclists. We've just had the Tour of Britain come through Cornwall. This wasn't that, but I think this is sort of amateur level competition going on. So yeah, kind of fun to see hundreds of bikes come on this section. Although there was some idiot in a Range Rover or Land Rover that was driving way too close, and they were all shaking his head at them. Then after that, the first sort of off-road section is this sort of like open, long grass section, which is kind of fun for a change. But the vast majority of the TET down in Cornwall seems to be sort of enclosed, hedgerows, kind of narrow. So this at least was a bit open. Nothing difficult, mainly fairly flat, but a little bit rutty. Then a few more flattish kind of off-road bits, mostly quite sort of wide for car size. Then we near the Wheeljane Dam area. I didn't really actually see the dam, but this is the area that we're in here. And I had some really good fun around this bit because it's quite sort of flowing, and there's lots of sort of like bumps that are sort of large, sort of pumpy bumps, if that makes sense, and sort of flowing turns. Very sort of rutty, so you kind of get caught in a rut a little bit. But I actually really enjoyed this. This is where I filmed the little intro bit. It was just really kind of fun and sort of pumpy, and I was really enjoying sort of picking my line. Nothing tricky along here, but that's that section there. Then you come to near the Bisso Trail section. So I know this area from mountain biking, from cycling, but I don't know it from the motorbike side. And there's quite a few areas here where it's quite easy to miss your turning because there's quite a few trails going off in different directions. This section here, you'll probably do what I did. You'll miss the turning. You'll come out onto this big mound. Make sure you don't go over the edge of this because it looks pretty steep unless you're obviously very competent. I wasn't, so I went back the correct way, the TET way. And so yeah, the turning is actually just here, but you're still quite nice that you get a little view from there. Then you come to the bit where there's lots of bikes come along, and you probably will get the stink eye from a few cyclists because they presume you're not allowed on this section because there is a lot of cycleways along here and motorbikes are not allowed on most of it, but obviously you are allowed on this little section here.
Thank you.
And then it's very easy to miss the turning off of this section, and then you'll suddenly find yourself down by the bike shop. So if you've done that, you've missed the turning, but this is what the turning looks like into this really sort of overgrown section. Very sort of short, nothing too serious here, but yeah, very, very overgrown, and like I said, it's very easy to miss that turning. I did.
I got 5,321 bugs in my helmet. Counted them as they went in.
Then after that, you've got a little section which again is easy to miss. It runs alongside someone's driveway and it's sort of tucked into the hedge a little bit. So that one is quite easy to miss. Just a little short run there. Then after that you have quite a long off-road section, pretty varied, some of it a bit steep and loose, and there's even a couple of small water crossings, nothing difficult, you know, slippy or steep, just, you know, little streams. Quite fun there.
Deep and loose. Yeah. Much deeper and looser than this, guys. So, no problem. Wow.
Next, the route will take you near Stithians Lake, which the TET doesn't actually go right past, but you're kind of coming past it. So if you spot it on the map, it might be worth checking out because there's a couple of nice nearby pubs and things like that, and you know, water activities if you have the time, obviously. But yeah, Stithians Lake is sort of cool. It's a little bit sort of barren, and you've got a big dam there as well, depending on which side you come at it. Then further south, you turn off a main road, the A394, and you have this one little steep rocky section. And this is probably one of the only bits that I'll definitely sort of highlight as being slightly tricky. I didn't find it an issue, but I can imagine if it was really muddy and these rocks were wet, it would be a little bit more work getting up there. But yeah, fairly steep. Again, steeper than it looks on the GoPro, but I didn't find it particularly difficult. Then after that you come out in Portkellis, which is quite nice because that's exactly where I used to live, and I went right past my old house. Haven't been there for a while. I'd recommend this pub here, which is the Star Inn. It's just a local pub, but it used to be my local. It's not bad for a spot of food and a drink, so yeah, maybe check that one out if you have the time. Then a few roads through Helston until you get to this steepish section as you get near Porthleven. Again, nothing too worrying, but a little bit steep. Then you pretty much come out right by Porthleven. So that over there is where you would go if you're continuing on the TET. But I'm going to end this video here and just pop into Porthleven for a cup of tea. Anyway, so yeah, for this little run here from Truro to Porthleven, I didn't find anything too challenging. Some of that could be down to me starting to feel a bit more confident on the bike and on the off-road stuff. So maybe it just seems a little bit easier for me. But I'm trying to give you a sort of an honest appraisal and, highlight any things that are potentially difficult, just so you know what's coming at you when you do it yourself. But I'll leave that there, and I hope that was useful. And then hopefully for the next run, going north from Perranporth, yeah, I might possibly try and do that with some other riders and possibly do a bit of a longer haul and really cover some ground. So wish me luck on that, because I think there's a couple of tricky sections going north up there up into Cornwall. Anyway guys, I hope that was useful, and I'll catch you on the next one.